who's going to turn up. That's the difficult part. That's why, and it'll take you longer, or it might take more time to all of a sudden you've amalgamated that kid into the second last heat because no one else, you can't see anyone else as the check starter. 2 other kids turn up, which I have seen happen. Okay, kids gone in and they've gone into that second last heat. Kids turned up, they've missed the race. Ariel.
What if you do know?
That's a different matter, I think, but it has to go through the referee and or the technical director. But if it's running, you know, to time or something like that, and it will take you longer to move that kid in, to then go to the recording room, etc. How much time have you sort of saved, I suppose? But, as I said, if it happens before the session, or, you know, maybe, you know, 5 to 10 heats beforehand or events before, it is a possibility, but it must go through the technical manager and must go through the recording room, the referee before you go into the control room supervisor, etc. All right? Oh, they're encouraged to mark off for 8s and 1500s, whether that's in that particular session or whether it's prior in later sessions or whatever. All right? And that's a question I want to come back probably to the, sorry, just going back to the one before, come back to the technical committee. Who is the one who does the amalgamation or reseeding? That's what the question I want to ask. So reseed at these events, if there's withdrawals, may occur earlier, but again, as I said, the technical manager or the referee may decide this. It's up to them to decide that. So what are your duties as clerk of the course? And I'm just doing clerk of the course at the moment. I will get to the check starter very shortly. You ought to assist swimmers, coaches, parents, get to know who they are and who the coaches are. That's what I see as, if I'm clerk of the course, that's one of my duties. And I'm in a very fortunate position that I know a lot of the swimmers, I know a lot of the coaches as well. I don't know a lot of the parents, but you build up that rapport with them and they will be a lot nicer if they need to come back to you and ask another question. You need to ask any question, need to answer any questions. Remember, you are a help desk. If you don't know the answer, go and find it out. You can mark swimmers off if you wish. You don't have to. Some of the kids I say to, do you want me to mark you off? They say, yes, please. I say, okay, no worries, and I mark them off. Multi-class swimmers and junior swimmers normally want to. What I try to do is to make sure I'm calling out the heats, or I'm checking the board to make sure I'm moving the kids out to be in the right, to get in the right position, in the right event, ready for the check starters to assist those kids into the right blocks at the right time. So you need to keep an eye on the scoreboard. It does get very busy, especially if there's relays and 50s. So keeping your eye on the scoreboard can become a little bit problematic sometimes. Swimmers can report, as we said, to the seats in the call room. You need to encourage social distancing. There are busy times, as I said, with 50-metre events, relays, etc. Just further on your duties, direct swimmers to the 50-metre start if it's a long course event. Don't worry about it if it's short course, because they're all at the one end. And normally, what I have done there, I normally say go to the other end. Someone in black will be at that other end, ready for you, and that's normally a check starter. Because there'll still be kids who come to the call room to say, where am I going for 50s? So someone needs to be there, otherwise they'll probably sit down and go, miss their race and go, no one was there. No one was there to tell me where to go. So that's why I stay there, the chair. And it's arrangement, again, you work as a team. So it's an arrangement you have with the check starters for 50s. Can you go to the other end and I'll send them down to you. Note any swimmers in the master program who report or withdraw for the 800 metres and 1500 in later sessions. If there's any other withdrawals, you can also write those down, and I always then give those to the control room supervisor, who'll probably then give them to the computer operator, who might then take them out because you've been notified that they've got COVID and they're not coming in all weekend, or they're just pulling out of this race in tomorrow's program or something like that. Let the check starters know if there's any changes to the swimmers, and if you changes to the program or where you've amalgamated or something, or where, and if you can, find where the swimmers or the coaches are to let them know that there's been a change as well. The other thing I'm now starting to get into the habit of, I go over to the program that's on the wall and I will write heat 3, lane 2, heat 4, lane 5, if there's been an amalgamation already that we know of and we've been able to do it, 5 or 10 heat events beforehand. Normal duties apply for managing finals. Withdrawal forms, results, you need to mark off. I always put the initial and the time next to the kid when they've withdrawn, when they're posted, and the ones that you have next to you as clerk of the course. Normal reporting to the clerk of the course in finals. That's because reserves may be called. That's reserve if they come down and say, hang on, just wait, I don't have everyone yet. This is probably a little thing that gets my goat a little bit. You're doing this and trying to do this for kids that they want to mark off, looks like I'm not in control. If I do this and I'm calmly doing this here, hopefully the kids see that I'm a little bit in more control of what I'm doing. To me, standing up, trying to look for kids or that, as I said before with starting, you've got to look in control. To me, sitting down, being calm, that calms me down so that the kids, feel calm as well. That's just me. Try it, see what happens, see what, if you're clerk of the course, see what you think if that happens, if you do that. So with the check starters, you are the support person to direct the swimmers to pool deck and answer any questions from the swimmers. This is debatable because, again, you're working as a team. Sometimes check starters, like one will work one half of the pool, one will work the other half of the pool to make sure those kids are there. If you want to work one event, one a heat each, that's fine. You work from the program. Hopefully the clerk of the course has given you any changes. You guide heat swimmers to their lanes. If they are in the waiting area, swimmers are expected to know their heat and their lane. Hopefully they know their event as well, and that they get to use get to understand that hopefully their name's on the board so that they're in the right place at the right time. There's no requirement at the moment, at this stage, to call the names, although you do go across and check and make sure that I don't call their names probably. Hopefully that they've got a right cap on and I go, oh yeah, that kid's there. But if you're working half the pool, it's only sort of 4 or 5 kids that you're looking for. If a kid maybe isn't there, maybe you want to call the kid's name out and they might go, yeah, I'm here, and they'll get up there anyway. Obviously with the multi-class kids, you really want to sort of really make sure they're checking their names and moving those kids into the right spot. You might note any non-swimmers. You need to be, one person needs to be in a position so the referee can see you, so that they know everything's all okay. That's as normal. Be aware, swimmers, as I said, may go directly to the lane by the time the referee's whistle is blown for that heat. That's the swimmer's responsibility. Be aware of any swimmers who miss the race, and if there's a kid who comes up to you and goes, I've missed my race, you'll need to take them to the referee. In finals, duties in finals continues as it has. We march them out, etc. Making sure they're all, you line them up, out we go. You might gather swimmers from the marshalling area or the call room and await the signal to be brought onto the pool deck. At Australian Championships like trials, as I said, They come into an area that's controlled by a media representative, and that's who will direct them to go on to onto pool deck. There's no tech starters who lead them out or anything, but you're still there if you are a tech starter to make sure that all those kids are there and they're sort of roughly, hopefully, in line, ready to go out. And there's been a number of people who have done that at Australian Championships. How you work at your area championships really should reflect what's happening at state and what's happening at nationals. Obviously, there are some local changes that you might make to suit what your needs are in your area, and same with club meets, etc. Things to remember. You need to make sure that you're still, as best you can, whether you're the clerk of the course or the check starter, that the costumes are all okay. You need to look, and hopefully the technical manager has told you about any taping on any kid, any advertising, depending on whether it's a meet that's being televised, etc., what advertising rules are around. Familiarise yourself with the areas that you're working in. You need to work as a team. So the clerk of the course and the check starters work as a team, but the clerk of the course and the check starters also need to work with a number of other people as well. So just remember that. Consistency. If we're consistent with what we do, then kids will be in the right place, in the right heat, the right event, the right lane, at the right time, ready to swim. I think you need to remember to be respectful and positive. There will be a parent who comes down who is the most annoying parent you've ever had and gone, my child missed this, and what are they doing here? They've never been here before, what are they supposed to do? You're there to help, so take a deep breath, a bit of patience. Yes, I can help you with that. How can I? What do you want me to actually do? It's the hardest thing to do, but you got to do it. Yes, Ariel?
Sorry. Just in regards to taping,
Yep.
if you're a check starter and you happen to notice it, is it acceptable to just ask the swimmer if they've seen someone?
Yes.
But if it's a week-long meet and they said, yeah, I saw someone on the day one,
Yeah.
is that acceptable?
Hopefully the technical manager may have come to see you as well. Often the clerk of the course doesn't see it because they've got their clothes on.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the
So
check
it's not
starter
until
may go to, I think I did that with a kid at Metro. Kid came, I saw